man, these biscuits are just bad.
Yo, what up, guys? Alright, now that I've scared off everyone, we can do an actual intro.
Wonderful.
I am Fel, and this is Malcolm,
What's up?
and this is the M&M podcast. Or is that copyrighted?
Probably.
The M in association with M podcast. There we go.
Nice.
This is just a little stupid thing that we decided to do.
Because it's fun. And
Yeah.
podcasts are a thing.
Yes, very much so. So in this episode, we'll probably talk a lot about Sonic throughout the entire podcast, but in this episode, we're mainly talking about Sonic Frontiers because why not?
It's the most recent game. We're probably not going to get much more info on it for a while.
Yeah,
So, might as well.
yeah. Mm. So mm, we're just gonna explain how we feel about This is gonna be a more general episode just about Sonic Frontiers. We probably should have planned this out more before we
Yep.
did it, but whatever. Who cares? Mm.
Um. Obviously, one of the biggest problems people have with the entire game as a whole is the dreaded M word, as it is now being called, for absolutely no fucking reason other than pointless reasons.
Wait, what was it again?
Momentum.
Oh, momentum, right. I mean,
And if I'm being honest, I kinda agree. The whole situation with Frontiers and Sonic's whole momentum is just what the hell happened?
really, I mean, I didn't think it was that bad, but I can see why people would. Then again, I haven't really played with the normal momentum since I first played the game, and ever since then I've just had the full speed, so I can go at whatever speed I want.
I was able to really figure out what the hell's going on with this after my second playthrough, but the whole thing is mainly Sonic just drops to a frickin' he drops like a stone whenever he jumps.
Okay, yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah.
He loses all of his speed as well whenever he jumps. So it's like if you jump, you have basically killed all of your speed.
Yeah. And
And then there's just if you are not holding the run button, dude is a wreck.
yeah, I guess that was so they would make it less boost to
It's
win.
it's more precision. Well, it's more for the precision platform because he's got the most precise jump in ages, but it just doesn't feel great to use.
Yeah.
And the most egregious points where you feel this momentum drop is where it's supposed to be used the most in the 2D sections.
Oh, yeah, okay, I can definitely agree with that. Like, there's one 2D section on Chaos Island. It's when you're trying to get to the Silver Emerald. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go onto a dash panel and then dash around basically a little loop. and it's supposed to be a simple section. You dash around a loop, you hit springs, and then it takes you to the Silver Emerald. But every time I've played that section without fail, the my momentum has canceled it out, and I've just been stuck in a loop of just hitting the dash panels, running out of momentum, like when I'm about a fourth of the way through the loop, and then just falling back down, and then having to get off of it, and then boost back onto the dash panels, and then just kind of boost all the way around the loop to the
Yeah.
springs.
It's like the only instances that momentum exists in the game is when you rail launch, which I found is extraordinarily difficult to do if you're a scrub like me.
Rail launching is just, I don't know, rail launching itself is weird because it just feels like
It's kind of like quasi-connectivity from Minecraft. It is a glitch that was added into the base game.
yeah,
That's why it seems weird.
yeah. It's also kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like a weaker version of the moon jump glitch.
You know, and I don't, I don't see too much a problem with it. It certainly helps with jumping through really, really stupid areas, like that one section before you get up to Tails to see what the ancients were fighting on Chaos Island.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
If you have the power boost and you rail launch, you can just get to that section immediately.
yeah.
And it shaved off a whole hell of a lot of crap that you have to do just to get to that one cutscene and then leave that area after it's done.
Yeah. What I find weird is I feel like Sonic Frontiers would have been so great if they hadn't just like stopped making the game after Chaos Island.
Absolutely.
Like you can tell that the effort that they like put in after they finished developing Chaos Island just dropped by like at least 50%.
Yeah.
Like
They the biggest, most obvious thing that people will know is that they chopped Kronos, Rhea, and Oranos into the three islands that they are now.
yeah, which at first I thought, "Oh yeah, that's kind of cool. It's coming full circle." But no, it's just lazy. And it's clear that they had intended for there to be five like special separate islands, but they just ran out of time or ran out of money or something, and then
Yeah,
just
and
yeah,
some people think that it retroactively that's false advertising. And I'm not sure if that is
I
the
wouldn't
case.
go
I'm pretty
that
sure they
far.
did want to give us five islands. They just ran out of time.
Yeah, which I think is stupid
Which,
because and okay, I know I'm quoting Nintendo here, but a delayed game is good eventually. An unfinished game is never good.
yeah.
Except for Frontier's case, hopefully. An unfinished game is never good unless it gets updated.
Yeah. The end, as a whole, just really slows down after you get past Chaos Island.
Yeah.
Rhea is the only good part of that entire
Yeah,
bit,
it's
but it doesn't feel as fleshed out as nearly the rest of the game.
yeah, well, Ray Island, it's one of those things where it's an experience. It's less of like its own island, and it's more of a method of building up tension. And it's great at its job. It does a great job at what it's designed to do. But
It literally just exists
yeah.
to pad out the whole island.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say it's padding because okay, maybe
Tell
having to
me
like
a reason to go back there after you complete it.
other than the reasons for me to go there and just look at all the missed opportunities that they had for gameplay things, not really.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Rhea Island only exists because it is a cutscene clutterfest. It builds up the tension that is
yeah,
immediately dropped at the very goddamn end.
yeah. And don't get me wrong, I would definitely rather have like I would rather have that than just a cluster of cutscenes, just kind of put together in like a what 15-minute long movie.
Yeah.
Like that'd be hell. We don't want that. But at the
No.
same time, I feel like it's I say this all the time when I'm talking about this game. Use it. If you're gonna put something in the game, then use it. Don't just put it there and then flesh it out a little bit and then just ignore it. Use it for something.
Exactly. It's like, after you are done with Rhea, there is literally no point in going
Yeah.
back.
Do you want to know what would have been really cool? If they gave Ray Island a water theme.
I
That would have
mean,
been
in
awesome if they made.
parts, it kinda
Yeah, yeah. Well,
is,
really only the lake.
but
Really only like the lake is
yeah.
water theme. That's the. And funny enough, that is the only part of the game that you can drown on accident in. That is the only
Oh,
part of the game where there is any potential threat of you drowning, and even then you still kind of have to choose to.
yeah,
And literally every other part of the game, there is absolutely no threat of drowning whatsoever.
a gimmick that has been a part of Sonic since the very beginning is basically absent in this game. The
Yeah.
only instance where you could potentially drown is with those stupid balloon robots.
Oh, right. But even then, that's only if you don't know what to do. And okay, admittedly, they
Yeah, that
almost killed me on my first playthrough, but as soon as I figured out what to do, it was fine.
precisely. That's the whole problem with those enemies.
Yeah, if
They are only a problem when you first encounter them.
and the sad part is that's not even like unique to the base enemies. That's most of the game's enemies. Is just once you figure out what to do, they aren't a threat anymore. And obviously there are some exceptions like ninja and or the ninja variations of robots and I guess also the like
Probably tower.
yeah tower sometimes, but a lot of tower is just being patient.
Yeah.
And spider
Other
well
than
spider is pretty straightforward. Like once you figure out what like there's not a lot that you have to really think of when you're fighting spider, but still.
yeah, all these enemies, they just exist to. This feels less like a free flowing attack based game and more like it's turn based.
Yeah.
But it's also not actually turn based.
Well, that's how I feel with some of the Guardians. Like with Squid, like with the Guardians like Squid, Strider, and Fortress, and like and Caterpillar, like those
They're
Guardians.
essentially they are essentially stages that
Yeah,
are also bosses.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that also applies to Ghost.
Ghost.
Fucking Ghost.
Fucking go. I hate Ghost. Everyone. I saw a video saying this is why Ghost is the best Guardian in Sonic Frontiers, and I think
It's
I
not.
lost my entire will to live when I saw that thumbnail.
Yeah, it's like it's easily the most tedious of the Guardians. I'm not gonna say it's the worst. It is definitely not the worst.
Yeah, no, it is not the worst. I would say the worst is probably... What is the worst?
The worst in my mind is...
I'm trying to think
I'm
of
not
one.
gonna say Squid, because that's obvious.
Well, I'm trying to think of one that I genuinely, like, dread fighting and will, like, go out of my way to avoid, because I know there are some like that where I genuinely just... Shark. Shark. I hate Shark.
Shark, yes. Shark is absolutely the worst.
Yes.
It's like, it's not even a fight. It's a quick time.
It's a quick time event that is drawn out so long. Like, genuinely, I thought I was doing something wrong when I was first fighting Shark because I had no idea what I was supposed to do. But no, you have to wait like 3 minutes. I timed it. You have to wait like 3 minutes. I didn't actually time it. But it's, in my mind at least, it's around 3 minutes just to get an opportunity to attack.
Yeah, it is way too drawn. It is really fucking annoying
Yeah.
just to encounter it. It has the same stupid, ooh, I'm scary opening as Squid, but it has none of Squid's when intrigue.
Yeah.
That it's basically just unleash quick time events, but worse.
Yeah. I would say probably the strongest, and when I say strongest, I mean most powerful, I mean just best Guardians in Sonic Frontiers is probably Master Ninja.
Yeah,
But I guess that's kind of a given, though.
basically the two best ninja variants are literally on the last island.
Yeah. Well, okay, what's funny is that, and I point this out in another video, is that the Guardians on Oranos Island suck, except for the variations of Guardians that we've already fought. Like,
Yeah,
other than
because
the tower
they're basically
variants,
super cool versions
yeah,
of what we've already fought. Everything else is just super freaking boring.
yeah, like Caterpillar, like, and I mentioned this earlier, and I'll bring it up again. Every other island had at least one really cool and intimidating Guardian. Kronos Island had Asura. Uh, Ares Island had
Ares had
Strider. Chaos Island had Fortress. And then what does
yeah,
Oranos Island have?
Caterpillar,
Caterpillar?
who is essentially the stupid version of Tank.
Yeah, it's like,
No, it's more like a mixture of Tank and Strider,
yeah, it's Tank and
that
Strider
and it's
put together.
somehow worse than both.
Yeah. Is it bad that I actually like Tank? Kinda. I know a lot of people don't
I
like Tank.
I I enjoy Tank. He's
Yeah.
probably one of the more interesting of the Ares.
It's my favorite Guardian on Ares Island.
Yeah, he's my third favorite. I prefer Sumo and then
Sumo's
Strider
pretty fun
above.
too, yeah. Yeah. Strider's the only reason that I like say Strider is one of the really cool and intimidating ones is because Strider is definitely the most intimidating Guardian in the game, at least.
He's bigger than some of the Titans.
Yeah, like it's bigger than Giganto, maybe not bigger than Wyvern. I feel like if you stretched Wyvern all the way out, then
Yeah, probably nowhere. I'm pretty sure Giganto is just the smallest.
yeah, it's
Titan.
weird. It's called Giganto, and he has the smallest.
it, it's hilarious,
Yeah.
but he's still one of the most interesting of all the Titans, as opposed to
What do you mean?
fucking Supreme.
Well, yeah, he's more interesting than Supreme, but compared to
We
like Knight and
we'll get
Wyvern, I wouldn't say so. Well, even then, no, I would say Giganto is probably even less interesting than Supreme, honestly.
I guess. I mean
I don't get me wrong,
that
Supreme.
it's the whole thing I said before. Sonic Frontiers thrives on spectacle. It's
Yeah.
why the supersonic boss fights are ingrained in everybody's heads.
Yeah, because they're the
They are the
best.
best part of the game because they're so insane. They're over the top. They're the best possible thing we have ever gotten in any Sonic game. We never see Super Sonic go this hard against any other boss in the series.
At least visually wise, like story wise, it's a
Story
different
wise,
story.
it's still Dark Gaia.
Yeah, story wise, Dark Gaia has pushed Supersonic more than anyone else. But Solaris probably would have if he wasn't tag teaming him, but you know.
Yeah. I mean, technically, you tag team
Yeah, I guess you also
Solaris,
tag
but
team Dark Gaia and Solaris, yeah.
no, I mean, I'm talking about the whole situation with you are fighting Solaris at three different instances of time.
Yeah,
It's
true.
not technically a tag team, it's just you are fighting three different versions of Solaris all at the same time.
Yeah.
Which
Which
I
is
still
makes
don't
no sense.
understand
Yeah, no,
how
it's
that actually works because isn't there just a continuous existence of
yeah, no,
Solaris?
it's like he exists in the past, present, and future because the past is one specific time, the present is one specific time. Well, that one actually is true, and the future is also one specific time.
Yeah, it
But no, it's stupid.
it doesn't make any sense because by the logic of just Solaris existing, it is still the most powerful of all the Sonic bosses we have ever faced because we never fight anything of that caliber again. It
Yeah.
is literally just constantly existing, and therefore the super forms also technically constantly existing, at least in Shadow and Silver's case.
Yeah, I don't want to go too
So,
deep into a tangent of Sonic 06, but because that'll
yeah,
probably get its own
th-
thing. But
yeah, it needs its
yeah,
own. It needs its own.
yeah, I do want to say I find it really funny though that when you're fighting Solaris, you get judged on how well you did in the fight based on how long it took you to kill a timeless being.
Dumb, but
He exists in
yeah.
all times at once. You're timed.
Ah, yes, that makes sense. But yeah, when you really go by visually speaking, this is the hardest Supersonic has ever fought. Every other
Yes,
game, he
absolutely.
has been a goddamn battering ram. Now he is throwing hands.
Yeah.
Multiple in this instance, because apparently he now has the ability to create illusionary copies of himself,
Yep.
as
He.
well as giant versions of his hands and feet.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do
Where
with
the
that
hell
spectacle.
were these powers before? Is what I'm wondering.
They were
It's
always
like,
there. Sega was just too lazy to show them off.
I guess. But it's like, dude is also apparently telekinetic, which. This would be a complete other tangent, but this feels more like evidence that Sonic is Silver's ancestor.
Yeah, yeah. Scourge was right all along.
Yep.
We called him a madman. Well, I didn't call him a madman. I believed his theory.
I did not call him a madman either.
Yeah,
It
no.
makes absolutely no sense for Shadow to have any relation to Silver other than
Yeah.
I am your teacher, you are
Shadow
my
and
student.
Blaze, by the way,
Yeah.
was the other guy's theory. And what I find funny was that like in that video, Scourge's theory of like Sonic and Amy being his ancestor, he made like a lot of good points. He brought up a lot of things to defend his theory, and then the other guy, I forget who he was, who was defending the
I uh fucking what was it? I do not remember that guy for the life of me.
It was a guy who I used to watch before I started watching Scourge, and then just
Yeah, same here.
ah.
Silver.
But yeah, like the guy who was defending Shadow and Blaze being Silver's parents was just it was just a lot of speculation. Like he was like, and
Gamer
it's
guy, seven aces.
there, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
like Scourge's points felt a lot more like he was basing them on like genuinely, this is the most likely outcome
Genuine
out of yeah,
evidence.
genuine
Like,
evidence.
he paired up uh, Amy and Sonic because of certain factors, like her ability to use the
ESP,
tarot
yeah,
cards,
tarot cards
ESP, and how Sonic's speed would
diminish over
drastically
time
would
or over
overhaul those
generations.
abilities while also diminishing the speed power itself.
Yes, like
And
and
that
that was a good theory, even though Chronicles isn't really canon anymore, like Amy still shows that she like uses tarot cards a lot in Origins, and like
yeah,
there
and
are certain
Frontiers especially.
yeah, Frontiers
Yes,
too. Yeah, like it's clear that she does do that stuff. So yeah, like his points about Silver were very concrete and actually had good evidence, and I do believe that that could very well be the case. Obviously, I don't know if Sega would genuinely like do that.
they wouldn't. They
Yeah,
wouldn't.
no, they
I
wouldn't.
mean, they threw in a goddamn red herring, which was a part of Gamer Guy's speculation, with uh, Silver being labeled as I forget which knight it is specifically, but he's essentially the son of Lancelot in Myth, and
Oh right,
who's Lancelot in Black Knight?
Shadow. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So
that's just stupid because then okay, by that logic, that would mean that Sonic is Knuckles' uncle.
yeah,
Which no, he
I
is not.
believe that also. I believe Jet was also another knight, and by that logic, he is fucking. Uh, I don't know which one. I have to go watch uh, Chari's video again because he actually went on a tangent about that. What I'll figure it out later.
Yeah, but
But
yeah, no, like the
can
whole. Oh, sorry.
and I do remember Scourge shooting back that by Gamer Guy's logic, Shadow's DNA should have popped up in Silver if he is literally just directly his
Yeah, if he's the
son.
direct son of
Whereas
Shadow, then he would have the powers of the Ultimate Life Orb. He would have. How do you get white fur from black and purple?
black, black, red, and purple.
Yeah, no, you don't get white fur from that. You get like crimson at
Gray.
best or
A
gray.
really frickin' muddy.
Yeah. But
Whereas whereas Scourge, he was like, I'm not saying these guys are directly related. I'm saying this is over multiple frickin'
yeah.
generations.
Yeah, which I feel like that makes a lot more sense. And also, if Blaze was Silver's mom, I feel like that would have been made a lot more clear in '06.
As yeah, I mean, Blaze in '06 is about as clear as mud.
True,
Anyway,
yeah, but I feel like their relationship would have been a lot different. At least because
yeah,
Silver and yeah, sure, Blaze
they
does act like Silver's more rational half, but that doesn't mean she's his fucking mom.
yeah. Anyway, we're
Yeah,
flying
we're
off
very
of
off track.
so
Let's
uh
Frontiers. We're gonna talk about
yeah,
Frontiers. That was the
we were talking
topic.
about Frontiers. I was going on about how it's best when it is thriving on its spectacle.
Yeah,
It's like the whole thing with we don't really get too much in the fight itself with Giganto, but in all the promotional material, it was front and center. Like Supersonic flying at Giganto's fist
yeah,
just to counter the damn thing
and
was
like
amazing.
well, and this is something that I was like thinking about. Like, I was worried before Sonic Frontiers came out that they were going to end up like spoiling the entire goddamn game before it even came out. Kind of like
Mm,
how they
That
did with Sonic 2, like the sequel to the Sonic movie, where basically they
uh,
spoiled the entire movie before it got released.
yeah,
Like
that
literally,
was
the only thing they didn't show was Super Sonic. But I feel like that was something we
and
could all piece together would happen, considering the Master Emerald was
when the
involved.
yeah, when you have the Master Emerald in the background, it's like they could have thrown in a red herring. It's like, yeah, here's the Phantom Ruby in the trailer instead, but no, they just
Yeah, no.
directly show us. They didn't even have to show us where they were fighting. They could have taken footage from the first fight between uh, Sonic and Knuckles in Ice Cap Zone. That one mountain that looks like Ice Cap Zone.
Yeah, but no, they had to like they shouldn't have even shown us the Death Egg robot. They should have like kept that hidden.
Yeah, hidden
Yeah.
in its tornado of
Yeah. They
wind
literally had a
and
tornado. Like why not
energy.
just God.
Yeah.
I said this like when I was seeing the trailers. I was like, the movie looks pretty good. I don't know how I feel about Eggman turning into Bill Cipher at the end though.
Yeah, it's interesting, I guess. I mean, it. How many people have been dying to see Super, and we essentially get that. He
Yeah.
shows how he is like all powerful with the Master Emerald,
Yeah.
but
And
it's still really weird because
I mean, I get it. I
he's.
feel like
It's probably the only way he could have built that Death Egg so fast.
yeah. And I feel like I feel like design-wise though it makes sense because like if obviously for like animals or like the anthropomorphic animals in the Sonic series, it would make sense for their fur to change color during like their super transformation because they're covered in it. But for humans, like just for a human's hair to change color,
I don't
even
think he exactly it exactly changed the color of
yeah,
his
no, and I'm not
mustache.
saying it did. I'm
It
not saying it did.
just
I was just saying that would be like I feel like Sega knew that they didn't just want to do like a super Eggman like everyone had intended to. So instead they kind of
yeah, they kind of played off the whole situation with Mecha Sonic and Super Neo Metal in the comics, where
yeah.
he harnesses the power of the Master Emerald rather than using the Chaos Emeralds,
Yeah.
which he couldn't have anyway, because obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Again, we're
Spectacle and the
yeah, we're getting off
Titans.
track again. God.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Uh, if
that's
you
why
really want Spectacle with the Giganto fight, you just Psyloop him to
yeah.
throw him up into the air, and then you can Psyloop him again to him out,
Oh yeah,
which I thought was really cool.
I only learned about that recently. Like you don't just knock him to the ground. Like he literally goes unconscious for a couple seconds.
He does the Yamcha pose as
Yeah.
well, and
Like bro's just out.
then there's Wyvern, which is a entirely different beast in terms of spectacle. Like,
Yeah.
if you parry his second attack, you grab him and you throw him at a mountain.
Yeah.
That is probably my favorite little tidbit about the Wyvern fight, other than the fact that when you Psyloop the Wyvern, it spawns chains of
Yeah.
pure
Yeah.
chaos,
That part was
and
always really cool.
that easily makes his Psyloop the best in the entire game
Yeah.
because
Well, I don't
everybody else
know.
just gets thrown up by wind.
I don't know though. Knight's an entirely different beast entirely. Knight is probably my favorite. Oh, holy shit. Motherfucker.
Oh no.
So sorry.
Alright,
But yeah,
it's
Knight
fine.
is.
I wouldn't say Knight is exactly a complete other beast as opposed to Wyvern because they are similar in spectacle scale.
That's true, but like I don't know. I just
Like,
the one scene where like you like summon a bunch of lances from the ground and literally like impale Knight upwards and then just hold him there.
yeah, it is pretty cool, but other than that, his main real spectacle moments that you can see without looping are the the shield parrying his entire shield and taking control of his sword, which only happens in the cutscene. It's like that would have been immensely better if you actually took control of the sword itself during gameplay. That is the
Yeah.
only way they could have made the knight better. It's like
Yeah.
you take his sword and it stops playing Find Your Flame for a second, and instead it plays a remix, a re-rendition of Night of the Wind.
Yeah, yeah. And
Just for as long as you have the sword.
that would be really cool. But like I feel like the shield was a good compromise for that.
Yeah, I don't know. It has just the wonkiest physics.
Yeah, okay, that is true. Like
It's
he
like it would have been much better as like a second phase type of thing
I mean it
where
technically
after
is.
you I mean yeah, it
Oh, you mean this
technically is, but
sword.
it's still a cutscene. The sword
Yeah, I yeah.
you just take his sword during a cutscene.
Do you want to know what would have been
It's
really cool?
still cool.
If when you turn into Supersonic for the night battle, instead of turning into normal Supersonic, like, well, it'd be cool if like at first you turn into Supersonic and then Sonic just to like play up the moment instead uses a little bit of his power to just change his appearance and put like golden armor
Get
around himself.
make himself Excalibur
Yeah, make
Sonic.
himself look like Excalibur
Just to,
Sonic. Yeah,
that that would have been cool.
yeah.
Unfortunately, is just it couldn't really make a full on armor. It would have been more translucent than anything else.
It still would have been cool though.
It would have been cool, yeah.
Yeah,
Just play up the whole fact that it's a knight versus the Knight of the Wind.
yeah.
It's kind of annoying how everybody's like, "Oh, cool! Sonic has a sword now. He had that so many games ago."
Yeah. Like,
Eh, but yeah, spectacle is when the game really thrives, and
like,
it's absolutely bullshit when you get to Supreme
and it's
and there
just,
is like none of that.
yeah. And the worst part is the Supreme fight really isn't that different from a Giganto. Like,
No,
yeah, no, the
it's
only difference about it is the turrets.
yeah, it's basically Giganto, but more tedious. When it
Yeah,
could have easily been Giganto, but better.
yeah, and people don't talk about like, but people don't talk about how Giganto's a terrible boss. People talk about how Giganto's a great boss, even though gameplay wise, gameplay
His
wise, you would think Supreme would be the better boss fight, and
and
like in a removed sense, Supreme is a better boss fight than Giganto, but for a final boss,
it's not. It it stands for everything that every other Titan feels more like a final boss than
Yeah.
Supreme.
And that's the biggest issue that I have. But no, I haven't said it yet. Do you want to know the biggest issue that I have with Supreme though? The
What's the biggest?
tension. Supreme is the worst Titan in the game, not because it has the worst boss fight, because I would say it only has the second worst boss fight in the game, but because of the tension. Giganto. You try to fight Giganto and you get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
And then you can always see Giganto looming above you from the mountains.
And
Wyvern. Oh, go ahead.
You know you can't fight the Wyvern because
Yeah.
you've
it's
already tried that with Giganto.
Yeah, and there's a chase scene, and you have to run away from the missiles, and then you can always see Wyvern in the sky flying above you.
Knight is a little bit less as tension building.
Yeah, tension wise, like he doesn't. I would disagree honestly. Like Knight always gave me the sense of like just this horrifying being just from when we first met him. Because having to rely on an enemy, a squid, in order to get away, because Knight, the other Titans, it kind of felt like they didn't really care about killing you. It was just more so you were in the way. With Knight, it genuinely felt like Knight was actively trying to kill you. Knight wanted you gone. At least that's what I was getting.
I can see that. I feel like it was the only option Sonic really had. He had to rely on an enemy in order to escape the more dangerous one.
Yeah, like with Giganto, it was more like this is what I got from each of them. Giganto was like, we got this, and then Sonic's hubris is what caused him to lose. With Wyvern, it's more like, this is an issue, but I can still get away. With Knight, I genuinely felt like I was in a life-threatening chase. I was like, there is only one way out of this, and if I fuck it up, I'm done. I am dead. That is the end of me. That is the end of my experience on planet Earth. I will be gone. That was the vibes I was getting from Knight, just during the chase scene.
I get that, but sure, you managed to get away. He basically just dips.
Yes, and
you don't see him.
Yeah, that is my biggest issue with Knight.
Until after you get through Pinball.
Oh god, we'll bring up Pinball soon.
Yeah, Pinball.
But Knight, there was just something so excited, like, and yeah, I will admit, that is probably the biggest downside of Knight, is that you can't really see him at all, because he's, like, in a cloud of fog. But once you get there...
He's not even in a cloud of fog, he's underground.
Yeah. Like...
I don't even understand how he managed to get down there. Like, how are you down there?
Cyber warping.
I had to blow up the mountain in order to reveal you.
Cyber warping, probably.
Probably.
He probably just went back into... It's like the Nether. He just, like... He had a Nether portal, and he went into the Nether, and then he went into another Nether portal that he built in the ground.
Yeah. But, yeah, like you were saying, Supreme, it sucks.
Yeah, there's no tension. There's no build-up.
You don't even see him show up.
Except for the cutscene. The only time that you will ever see Supreme before the final boss is in a cutscene that happened probably millions of years ago.
Yeah, and then there's also the cutscene where it seems like you're going to see him, but they never show him. They actively turn away from him.
Yeah, and that's what I hated. And I brought that up in the video. It was like, don't turn away from him. Show him coming out of the portal. Like, I get it. Budget. Who the hell cares? We baby Sega.
Yeah.
We baby Sega. We'll understand.
imagine this for a second. They didn't just. Not only do they show him, he pulls out his gun and he blows up the tower you're standing on. So whenever
Exactly.
you go back, if you actually have any reason to go back, you see that the tower is now just snapped in half, smoking. Bits of it are everywhere.
Yeah, like that would have been so much cooler, but no. But no.
Yeah,
Ah.
they don't show him. You don't see him until you actually fight him.
And another
And
thing.
like you said, if you do see him, it's in the cutscene that some people, like myself, didn't happen to pay attention to because they were busy with other stuff.
Yeah, but okay, what I find the worst about though is that every other Titan, you have to fucking shadow the Colossus that bitch to get to the last Chaos Emerald.
And then with the Supreme Titan,
With Supreme, you don't
Eggman just
even yeah, you
gives
don't even
you.
get the Emerald. Eggman just gives
How
it to
does
you.
he? That's another thing. How the hell does he get it before we do?
Okay, that was
Like,
something
where?
I was thinking of,
What?
and the best thing I could come up with for it was that it was on another island, just kind of off of Oranos Island.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense though, because if they all go to the next island, why would the purple emerald just say, "No, thank you. I'm going to random island number 50
Well, I was
over
thinking it would
there."
just be kind of like close enough where it still counts as that island, but there's no real good way to get to it. What would have been cool
It,
is you have it on this other island that's kind of off of the main island, but there's no way to get to it, not because like it's just another island, but because there's a bridge or was a bridge, but now there's just like the remains of a bridge there. So there's at least
yes.
some semblance of some reason for it to not be there.
Yeah.
Would it really have been that hard for them to just put it on like another island and then just make a little bridge that's doesn't serve any purpose?
Apparently so. Because they just have Eggman show up with it and like, "You're too slow, Sonic,"
Yeah.
as usual. And he just gives him the purple emerald with a stupid comment about not losing it.
Yeah.
How the fuck is he supposed to lose it between you giving it to him and him immediately going and attacking Supreme?
Admittedly, I think that part of the game was supposed to be Eggman going like I think it was more an act of defiance where he didn't know exactly what to say, so he was just like, you know what, like fuck you, don't lose the emerald.
I guess
Like
so.
he
I
wanted to say something mean but couldn't think of anything
I
mean to say, so he just said that.
I I don't get it. I don't like it at all in this game. It makes no fucking sense for Eggman to not want to work with Sonic in a life and death situation when
Yeah.
he's done that before.
No, but those alliance choices were purely out of desperation. This isn't a life or death situation. He just needs to get back into cyberspace if he needs to.
Yeah, it's so dumb. It it's it just it feels like it's just there to serve as antagonism towards Sonic
Yeah.
because we hadn't had that all game
Yeah.
because Eggman was just in
And
cyberspace and we never see him.
we don't need that anymore. And okay, I'm sorry, Ian Flynn, and anyone else who wants Eggman to be like continue to be the main antagonist. I'm sorry, but like we don't need him anymore. He's outlived his purpose. Like
And I I kind of agree, but I kind of disagree at the same time because
and I'm not saying he shouldn't appear anymore, but I'm just saying there should be more ways to have his character than to have him as like
yep.
spooky antagonist.
I mean, without bringing in an entirely new antagonist, just for the sake of it, who the hell are we supposed to have as the antagonist?
Well,
Eggman has been responsible for all of it. All of it. It doesn't matter what it is, he has been, in part, responsible for all of the crazy happenings.
well, not
Be it
exactly. I
the
mean,
Chaos Emerald, except in the storybook series, but we're not counting those
well, even
because
then, like,
he doesn't even appear in either. He just appears as the king person who sup- was supposedly in that story the one who wrote the books when it wasn't
yeah,
actually him who wrote the books, it was the queen.
yeah, but Sonic, in Sonic Adventure, even though Eggman did help Chaos, like, Chaos, like,
He,
he got
he's
out on
the
his own, and he's
I
proven
don't
that,
believe that it was Chaos who broke out of the Master Emerald on his own. How the hell would he have done that? I'm
I mean,
very certain that it was Eggman who was responsible for the shattering of the Master Emerald in the first adventure game.
how? I mean, it's not really. I The closest thing we get to it is the egg carrier like approaching Angel Island, but even then, I don't know if that really means that he was the one who shattered it.
I mean, there's really no other good explanation. Why would Chaos, of all points, be able to get out then
I
when
mean,
he hasn't been able to get out before?
maybe the seal just wore off.
I doubt that because the Master Emerald, the seal is tied to the Master Emerald itself, an immensely powerful gemstone. How the fuck does it just wear off?
I mean, we know that the Master Emerald isn't that hard to shatter. It's hard to destroy, but it's not hard to like shatter. So it's possible that Chaos's anger just continuously built up over time until he had like built up enough power where he could just shatter it on his own.
That would imply he's stronger than the Master.
Not really. That would just imply that he's stronger than Knuckles, because we know, or as strong as Knuckles at least, which we know he is.
I don't know. I don't see it.
Eh,
But
maybe.
you, basically, with everything, it has been Eggman this whole entire time. And to
Yeah,
just
yeah.
get rid of him because he's got a daughter now,
Well, it's not
it
only
makes
that.
it doesn't make sense.
It's not
Sure, he has
just.
had an emotional growth. He has had emotional growth,
It's
but
not
that
just
has
that. What I'm thinking is that I don't think he should be the main antagonist, not just because he's specifically gone through emotional growth. It's just that I think the series itself has gone through enough growth where it doesn't need this mad scientist as a villain anymore. Like, sure, Eggman's great. We love Eggman. He's a great character, but we don't need him. There's so many other more powerful, more worthy beings to be the main antagonist than he is.
but most of this is most of those things are most of the beings that are more powerful than were released or given the chance to be unleashed because of Eggman. Whether you
Yes.
want to say it was or wasn't him, he was still responsible for getting the Chaos Emeralds
Yes,
into
but
position for Chaos to absorb them. When
yeah,
it came to Adventure, dude basically ran the show until Gerald's plan came into place,
yeah,
where all the emeralds just hijacked the damn Eclipse Cannon and made it so that the Ark would fall.
yeah.
And in this very game, the only reason that the end even had a chance to get out was because Eggman and Sage summoned the Chaos Emerald back to the islands so that Eggman could access the Ancients' technology. Hell, your favorite villain in the entire series wouldn't have had a chance to be released if it wasn't for Eggman.
That's fair. Yeah, I just think.
Eggman is
But
a
whose fault is that?
catalyst.
Is that the fault of. Is that the fault of the story or the producers? Is that the fault of the writers or the producers? Do you think.
I'm pretty sure it's just the way it's always been.
But should
It's
it
like,
continue to be that way?
I can't really see it being any other way.
Mm.
Because look at everything that has happened. It is, like I said, because of Eggman. If he wasn't there, most of these stories would not have kicked off.
Of
Do you
course.
honestly think Shadow could have broken out on his own? Do you think
No, no. I just.
if you think Emerald could have been reactivated if he hadn't gone searching for him?
Well, no, of course not. I
Could
just. I don't know. It's.
could Dark Gaia have been unleashed? Well, obviously he could have, but it wouldn't have been for much, much later, like long after Sonic and the rest of the team was dead.
Yeah. It's. I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's been necessary this entire time. It has been necessary for him to, like, be this catalyst the entire time. But at the same
And
time, it just creates this cycle. It creates this cycle of him just releasing shit. It causes trouble, and then Sonic has to step in and deal with it. There's no growth here. There's no empowering moment. It just feels like it's the same thing over and over again. He releases something, Sonic has to stop it. He does something, Sonic has to stop it. He creates the Phantom Ruby, Sonic has to stop it. He
he
unleashes the
did
Zeti.
create it. Gosh,
Or
God
not,
damn it!
not create it. You know what I mean?
Find it. The fucking story, of course, is
Yeah.
trash.
Penders.
Penders, he's not responsible for that garbage. It's
Fair enough.
Pontac and Graf's fault for
Okay,
that
yeah, that's
shit.
fair. Here's
But
what I would say though, is that in all, I just think that despite everything that he's done, if we really want a new story, if we really want a rebirth of the series, then I feel like the best thing to do is to retire Eggman.
then who takes the reins? There's literally no one other than Metal Sonic who could take control of the Eggman Empire. Unless you want to count Starline, and most people aren't gonna count Starline because he failed to beat Eggman in the comics.
Yeah,
Other
well,
than that,
that's
other
the
than
thing,
those
is
two,
with that
and
rebirth should come new things. Like, yeah, right now there's no one to, like, take that role, but that doesn't mean they can't introduce someone who can.
I guess, but would the fandom actually accept? Would they accept Eggman stepping down and just being replaced by somebody entirely new? Like, I can imagine nobody would have really a big issue if Metal Sonic just took control and
Okay, that's,
basically became the main antagonist
yeah,
for the rest of the series. Nobody would have a problem with that. It would
yeah,
actually give him agency, it would evolve his character a hell of a lot more than it has been. He's basically just been cannon fodder for practically most of his entire run since Heroes.
yeah. So, maybe that's a good step in the right direction. And maybe it'd be better to at least start off with Metal Sonic as the new antagonist for the next few games. Maybe the next 5, 7, maybe even 9 games in the future to have Metal Sonic as the main antagonist, or at the very least the main catalyst.
Yeah.
And to prevent an uproar from the fans, and then eventually kind of transition into a story that isn't just this repeating cycle. If I were in charge at Sega, that's how I would go about it.
The thing is, I can't really see that happening for very long. If it was Metal Sonic who took control, he wouldn't have it for very long. Eventually, people would be just raving to have Eggman.
Yeah.
And you can't just replace him with a straight up new character because nobody's gonna have that. Nobody's going to want that. It's
Hmm.
like, sure, you could try having Starline, but it would be less likely than Metal to stick. Because
Yeah.
people at least know how terrifying Metal can be as a villain. Very few people actually have. There is only a small chunk of the fandom that has read the comics and seen
Yeah.
what Starline is capable of, and he is not Eggman.
Yeah. Well, here's
He completely defies everything that Eggman is. That is his point. He's essentially the anti Eggman. He's not egotistical. He plans out his whole schemes and crap meticulously. He brainwashes his own servants in order to keep them loyal. He's not Eggman. I mean, sure, in the comics in the past, Eggman has done that.
yeah.
And he did it to much more egregious levels. But it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
It is
Here,
not the same when you compare the two side by side.
how I would do it is I would have Metal Sonic take the role, and then instead of just introducing someone else and then immediately having them take over, I would do it where you introduce someone else in one game, but don't really have them take the role of a major antagonist, but then slowly build them up over time until the fan base is ready for them to like take the role of the new main antagonist.
I guess that would work. But
So like
people
we
would still be clamoring for Eggman.
yeah,
He's just got too much staying in the
classic
entire
games. Classic
series.
games.
I guess you could still have him in the classic games,
Yeah, you could
but
make
it's not Mike Pollock. I mean, look what he did in Frontiers alone. He was a phenomenal character. He is a phenomenal voice actor to the point where I saw a video where Jim Carrey was basically matching his inflection for some of the more dramatic bits. Mike Pollock basically made Eggman
yeah, he is Eggman. Like
into
he
a godlike character.
yeah, and he's been how long has he been voicing him? Like he's been doing it
I'm
since
pretty sure he's been doing it
Heroes.
since X,
Oh yeah,
which
X I
was
guess.
like when How long ago was that?
I don't know. Oh, was it? No, I don't think it was Heroes, actually. No, he didn't do him in Heroes, I don't think, but he did him...
No, he did not do it in Heroes. That was still the adventure voice actor, I believe.
Yeah, was it 06? Was his first game appearance?
I believe 06 was. When did like
This podcast has gone from talking about the flaws in Frontiers to Eggman should no longer be the main antagonist.
Yeah, he started in 2003 with X, I believe.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, it wasn't too far along that he became Eggman in.
So he probably voiced him in Shadow then as well.
No, he did not.
Oh, he didn't?
It was still the adventure voice actor.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
Anyway, with all of that out of the way,
They should have kept the 06 design for Eggman.
they should not have Jesus.
Yeah, I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
You would get destroyed for that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was showing my friend who doesn't play a lot of Sonic. I was showing him Sonic 06, and he's like, "Damn, this is the hottest Eggman has ever been."
What the fuck? That's horrible.
Well, then again, he did also say that he liked his boom design better. So there's that.
That's not bad, I guess. I mean, Boom's design is still better than 06. I'm pretty sure people can at least agree on.
Hang on, let me see if I can find an image of him. I think it was in Sonic Underground. Yeah, his design. Jesus Christ, his design in Sonic Underground is fucking horrifying. Like.
Yeah, this is essentially the main design you get between Underground and fucking Sad AM.
Yeah, it's like all the older Sonic cartoons had this design for him.
I
think some of the Archie comics did too.
Yeah, they adapted this, but eventually they did move over to the modern design.
Yeah.
But they still kept these, which was absolutely an amazing decision, because imagine how horrifying in the game that would be if Eggman just took off his glasses and he had these black eyes with red irises.
Yeah, like that would be horrifying. That would genuinely be horrifying. Like, and that's the thing and that's why I think Eggman was a really good villain for the classic games, because the classic games he was genuinely intimidating, especially in some of the shows and the comics.
It's I can certainly say that he was at his peak of horrifying. I imagine that.
Here we go.
When he was written by Ian Flynn, that he could have rivaled Mephiles in terms of horror.
Yeah. I'll say this. This design looks like a design for a genuine, main antagonist, genuinely horrifying villain.
Yeah.
This design looks like a catalyst.
I guess his design seems a little less intimidating when you compare his Sad AM Underground design to his more modern design. Yeah, he doesn't seem that intimidating. But but there are moments where no matter what, Eggman seems just absolutely horrible, horrifying, and just
Yeah.
immensely dangerous.
Yes, and there absolutely are. Like Sonic
Specific,
Adventure 2, when he almost shoots Amy in the fucking face.
and most notably, in my mind, of all things, obviously, would be Unleashed's opening cutscene.
Yeah, like where he literally unsupers Supersonic and then shoots a laser at the Earth to awaken Dark
Yeah,
Gaia.
it's like if they really wanted to make him intimidating in forces, where the fuck was that
Yeah,
level of just unadulterated horror?
yeah.
Like
Where was that? Where
when
was?
I when I first saw, because I was in shock because I didn't know what the super form was. Unleashed was genuinely the first game I ever saw Super in, and I had no idea what it was. I essentially, except for the most notable cue being, he looks like a Super Saiyan. So I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh shit, he's basically Goku.
Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball. I'm not. We're not gonna get into Dragon Ball. No, we're not. We're not
Yeah,
doing
we're
it.
not gonna get into that.
No. I haven't even
But
watched it.
knowing what I know now, that is horrifying.
Yeah,
That
the
he managed to design a device
that could
that just
take his.
rips out the Chaos Emeralds
Yeah,
from the user.
and obviously there are some. There are some aspects of that writing wise that make it a little unnerving, and that's what I've noticed. And it's not just Sonic. There are a lot of other like series that go about this where they introduce something that is absolutely broken and then just don't really mention it again because it serves that purpose and that purpose alone.
Yeah.
But I think that that device in particular had to be really powerful. Like that entire ship, that entire very phallic looking ship,
Yeah,
was
the
probably.
Chaos Cannon,
Yeah, it
as
was
I believe it is called.
like the amount of energy that I would have needed, not only from the Chaos Emeralds, but also on its own to awaken Dark Gaia, and like how much research Eggman would have had to do. I feel like that gets away with it, with the whole like it being super overpowered thing, because yeah, it's supposed to be super overpowered. It's supposed to be an enormous
It,
trap, something that took probably like months of effort to design and figure out how to make it and research on how to
it's
make sure
like
it works.
consider considering the very same thing that he was awakening exhausted Supersonic, the fact that the Chaos Cannon made Supersonic feel pain like
Yeah.
like nothing else we have ever seen in the entire series
Yeah,
is horrifying.
the closest thing we
And that
get
was made by this man.
yeah, yeah, the
This
closest
man with an IQ of 300 who has this ginormous ass mustache and the goofiest fucking laugh
yeah.
essentially took down God.
Yeah. The only other time I can think of that we have seen Supersonic in genuine pain is during the night battle when you get like thrown against the wall.
Yeah,
That is the
and,
only other
and it and
being.
it's brief,
Yeah, and it's brief. It's
brief
like
pain.
it's not.
Eggman put Sonic through torture.
Yeah, like that's like getting electrified a million times around yourself, whereas with Night it's like getting punched in the face.
Yeah, it, it, and it's horrifying. This is just a
Yeah.
mortal man who basically has a fucking doctorate in unleashing God.
And he's been doing it for over 12 years now.
Eh, so with this, I, with all that considered, I just can't see anybody else living up to Eggman.
True.
Not even Metal.
The
At this
only
point.
way I
If
can think of...
when I consider the whole thing with Unleashed and how he
Yeah.
just made Supersonic look pathetic.
I guess the real way that I felt is I didn't want Eggman to not be the main antagonist. I didn't want someone who was super cartoony and not intimidating at all to be the main antagonist. Because there are definitely... Eggman has moments where he can be genuinely scary and intimidating, but they need to make him that way. And after
Yeah.
Frontiers, I don't think they can, honestly.
I believe...
Because...
I still believe they can, despite Sage
Well, I
being
don't know.
present now.
Because...
Frontiers was written by the same guy who made Eggman the most intimidating force in existence in the
Yes.
Archie comics.
But Ian Flynn
And
said
still
something.
continues to make him the most horrifying person in the IDW comics. Like, look at the Zombots. He created
Yeah.
that. He created that entire infection.
Yeah. Ian Flynn said something, though, that just kind of... I don't know, it didn't sit right with me. When he said that, oh, we've seen what devastation he can bring from his own merits. Imagine when Daddy's little girl wants something. I don't know if he said that exactly, but, you know.
And what he said was, if he can bring all this destruction on his own, imagine what he could do if Daddy's little girl asked him to. That's what he said, and I took that as a joke because I doubt he is like actually insinuating Sage would ask Eggman to do something horrendous.
Yeah,
But
I don't know, because I feel like they would have to change a core factor of Sage's character, because Sage's purpose in life is keeping Eggman safe. And I feel like a part of that is discouraging him from doing things that are dangerous. Sage would know if something's a bad idea. She would know unleashing a horrible like god is not a good idea. And that's probably why they had Sonic be the one who unleashes the end instead of Eggman, because Sage would have told him, this is a bad idea, don't do it. Whereas Sonic, you know, she doesn't care about Sonic. He can die for all she cares, or at least he could.
yeah.
Until Orin Asylum, where she kind of has a change of heart, but...
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
I just...
As much as I do want to continue talking about Eggman, this should probably be its own entire
Yeah,
episode,
you're right.
because we are way off tangent again.
Yeah, we are an hour in now, and...
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
How about this?
Back
I think...
back to Supreme.
Right, yeah.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people have seen movies, but there's the unused PTs.
Yeah.
And they just look amazing. They look more intensive than anything we see with the rest of the Titans.
Yeah, like they're crazy. Like especially the one where Supreme just like jumps back, shoots at you, and then jumps back again to shoot at you again, and then just like alternates between the two positions, or not really alternates between the two positions, but like jumps from place to place while trying to shoot you dead.
It is horrifying.
Yeah.
Because something that big should not move that fast.
Yeah, like it's genuinely...
It's like, it makes sense for Knight. He's on wheels.
Yeah.
Supreme is just leaping, trying to shoot you.
Yeah, it's...
And last night, I watched a mod video, where they restored all these QTEs as well as adding in more attacks based on some of the stuff we see in the base fight itself. And it looks amazing because not only did they make make Supreme actually look like a credible threat, they amped up his defense to the
Oh yeah.
point where it is horrifying. Because you know the cross slash attack,
Yeah.
that one attack you showcased to me where just how bad it is for you to be at max level.
Yeah, yeah, the one where like you take out like a quarter of his health bar just with the cross slash attack. Yeah.
Yeah, the person who was doing the mod showcase had all max stats, performed that very same attack, and it barely took off a chunk.
God.
They seriously amped up
Yeah.
Supreme's defense in this mod, and it is amazing.
And the worst part about it was when I was playing it for the first time, because like I I know I already told you I got spoiled for the end, but I hadn't gotten spoiled for Supreme. When I was playing Supreme as a boss fight for the first time, I like because there's a certain point in Supreme's boss fight where if you deal enough damage, then you just stop being able to do damage, and then he has to do a specific attack on you in order for you to hit him.
God damn.
You know what I was? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I I have actually not encountered that.
Really? Well, when I was
No.
first playing it, like I genuinely thought I was doing something wrong because I was attacking him, but I wasn't doing any damage at all.
No, that's the experience I got with the end rather
Yeah.
than
Well, the end
Supreme.
makes more sense because like the end is a very scripted battle, and that will always happen.
Yeah, it is to me. I don't even see the point in having a health bar for the end if it's scripted.
Yeah.
It
I guess
it's
it's
like
to show that you're doing damage, but
if they want to do that, don't give it a health bar. Give it health fucking
yeah.
health point.
Like make like show how much damage you're doing per attack. Like each bullet that hits do like show a number. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like what you're doing is even matters. It just it feels more automated than half the
Yeah.
goddamn game.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about the end in another video, though.
Yeah.
I don't want to go on a tangent about the end.
Yeah.
But
The
Supreme,
end deserves its own video.
yeah. When Supreme, basically, there's a point where you stop doing damage to Supreme, and then he'll hit you with one very specific attack, and then you'll do the quick time event. The only time in the entire goddamn fight that he uses his gun.
Yeah, and
Where he doesn't shoot at you, but shoots you.
yeah,
He doesn't. That I think that's the reason. And I said this yesterday. I think that's the reason why he doesn't use his gun for the entire fight. Other than that, his gun's not loaded.
yeah, he doesn't have ammo. But in the unused QTEs, he actually does use his gun more.
Yeah, and it's fucking
Which-
horrifying.
Yeah. So, essentially, with all the removed QTEs and just how much damage you're able to do at max level, he really does feel like Giganto, but more tedious.
Yeah.
And it sucks. Because
Yeah.
he should have felt like a combination between all of the Titans.
And there's not even like a quick time event at the end, like with every other Titan fight or cinematic ending to the fight. It's just
Him moving his neck for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's his cinematic cutscene. He moves his neck, and then he falls to his knees.
Yeah. Literally, the
That
ending of the fight, it's the same. Okay, the ending of the fight would be cool, where he kind of kneels down and then you can do the final blow. That would be cool if Giganto didn't do the exact same thing.
yeah, it just adds more onto the pile of Supreme just being Giganto, but worse
Yeah.
because that's really the most defining characteristic about Supreme. He looks like Giganto,
Yeah,
but he has a different color.
when I saw him, like, again, I got spoiled for the final boss. I'm still really fucking pissed off about it, but when I saw him in the final boss, obviously I didn't know it was Sage piloting him. I was just like, Giganto got a glow up?
Yeah, it is. It I wouldn't. I don't believe people would have cared if his fight actually seemed important,
Yeah.
but it doesn't. He gets one other cinematic cutscene where he spreads his wings, which is even cooler than any of the other
Yeah.
laser blast cutscenes that the other Titans do.
And then it's not even
And then you cut
used.
to his next bit, and he doesn't have the wings anymore, and you're floating 4 feet off the ground.
Yeah, like he's flying. At least add the wings to his design. Like, goddamn, if you're gonna do that.
It's like that section, that second phase should have been a wyvern style fight
Yes,
rather
yes.
than be just Giganto, but now you're flying.
Yeah, like it would have been cool, and this is what I had is like make use of the turrets. Like force Sonic to do like a homing attack chain. Like you have to hit one turret, then hit the other, and then hit one of his massive back turrets to then get up to his head.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how cool that would have been if you had to like kind of make your way up to him?
Yeah, it would have been amazing.
But no, they ran out of time and fucks to give.
Yeah. I just
And
I
it's a
wouldn't say
great
they
game.
ran out of fucks to give because you can tell there's still some passion in this
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
They just ran out of time.
yeah. And it's a
So
great
they
game.
had
Don't
to
get me wrong.
scrap all the cool stuff.
It is an amazing game. It is a phenomenal game. It is the best Sonic. Okay, it is my second favorite Sonic game, and objectively, it is the best Sonic game. But for the love of God, the ending is just.
All right.
Now, for like the second part of this, there was one thing that I wanted to do. To
Yeah.
prove even more that obviously I should have Ian Flynn's job,
Yes.
I feel like,
That part of this.
yes, I feel like we should go through the game and just kind of we should go through every little bit of the game, say what we think of it, like how good it is or how bad it is, and what we would change about it if we were given the opportunity.
There are some bits of the game that I am very confused on. Just it raises a lot of questions. I brought this up yesterday, but
Yeah,
there is one shrine
right, the
on
Master Emerald
Ares
Shrine.
Island that has this weird shattered purple gemstone.
Yes, and I think that was because we've seen that same mineral or type of stone before, so I don't think it's supposed to be like a seventh Master Emerald or something. I think that instead it was supposed to be a recreation of the Master Emerald that the Coco made
Yeah.
to, or as symbolism, I guess.
It's just really, really weird because it's there. And it is built in this place that is supposed to be reminiscent of fucking Angel Island and its master. And the
Yeah.
fact that this exists and it looks like a big fractured emerald, it it raises questions that should
Yeah.
not be misconstrued as there are 7 master emeralds,
Yeah, I know.
which is a horrifying idea.
And the sad part is, you know that those questions don't really have answers, right?
Yeah, it's
Like
like
Sega
what the
Sega doesn't know. Maybe some people at Sonic Team who like designed the area know what happened. But
yeah.
honestly, I wouldn't even put it past them to just have it broken just because, just as symbolism, not have a and not really have a reason for it to be broken. Like,
Yeah, it's a weird design decision.
yeah.
It raises so many questions.
And I say this again and again and again. Focus on the small things. Like you got the big
Yes.
things. You have the big things. You have the big islands, the big towers, and the big final boss that does all the funny, cool stuff. Focus on the small things. The little lake on Ray Island, make that into its own area. Make it into its own little parkour section. Like, okay,
Yeah.
you will never hear me say this again. Are you ready?
What?
The level design in the Werehog stages of Sonic Unleashed is peak. It is
I
peak.
don't I don't disagree. I genuine genuinely I enjoyed the Werehog sections
Me
in
too.
Unleashed more than I enjoyed the daytime stages.
Yes, and
Complete inverse for HD. The Werehog sections in the HD version of Unleashed can go straight to hell.
but here's the thing about the Werehog sections though, is they feel like genuine areas. They don't feel like just a little level that you have to run through. They don't feel like a cyberspace level. Because okay, here's the issue with cyberspace levels. They're faceless. They are absolutely faceless. They are
Yeah,
a level that you go through. It doesn't have any impact on the story. They just exist. They're absolutely faceless. Unleashed was not like that. Unleashd's Werehog stages, it felt like you were going through an environment. It felt like somewhere that was real that you were going through. And
yeah.
honestly, same with 06. Same with 06's levels. Both
I
Unleashed and 06 had this feeling that you were going through a real place with like real people that lived there or once lived there. It felt like this genuine area, whereas in other games, I just don't get that feeling.
yeah. Um, and with for Frontiers, the only time you ever feel that is during the open zone.
Yeah,
You can tell there used to be something here. There used to be
yeah,
people. There used to be places that were special, that meant something to these people that are no longer around.
yeah.
And you can feel a sense of isolation and sadness
Yes. I
that is
feel like
bound to this place.
yes, and I feel like they do a really good job of that. Like just the homes that they had there that are no longer there. But I feel like they should have emphasized that more. Like we see buildings and we see towers and stuff, but I feel like they should have had more stuff. Like maybe statues, maybe
What
idols. Like show the Coco's history. Show
what
the
what
things that
not
they
must basically it's like what Notmas has been saying. Oranos should have been the ancient city. You should
Yes.
have been able to see just what was lost when you
Yes.
reached the final island. It's just a barren, desolate city that houses broken buildings,
Oh my god.
fractured towers.
You know what it reminds me of? Or what that idea reminds me of?
Yeah,
Sonic OVA.
I haven't actually watched the
You have
OVA.
okay. There's one point in Sonic OVA where Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles they go down to fight Metal Robotnik. And when they go down, they see exactly that, this isolated and barren city. And obviously they don't really touch on it much. Like there was no species there or anything. I think it was just I haven't watched, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't watched OVA in like 5 years, but like there was just this it had that same feeling that you're describing, this feeling of emptiness, this feeling of desolation that I feel like would have been great for Oranos.
Yeah, it's just. But no, it's
And
just Chronos Part 3, and
yeah,
they.
you know, you saying
If
this
they
makes me want to.
really. If they really didn't want us drawing parallels, they should have made more of an effort to
Yeah,
disguise these islands as something else. Like, make
yeah,
Rhea more like a.
a water
More
theme. Give
like.
it like a water theme.
Make it water themed, yeah. But, Oranos, uh, as a city, but
Yeah,
add to the aesthetic, make it just buried in snow.
yeah, or like yeah, buried in snow, or I don't know.
It's like I'm going over to a completely different game here, but it has the exact same aesthetic because this very same planet just so happened to also have been most likely colonized and been the base of a bunch of beings known as the Ancients. But in Kirby and the Forgotten Land,
Ah, yes!
my my
Fucking
most
yes! I knew it! I knew you were gonna say that. Oh my god.
my most favorite area in the entire game, because I am a sucker for snow levels. I can't stand the cold in real life because I actually have an allergy towards the fucking cold. I don't know how that works, but my favorite area is easily the. God damn it! What is it called again? What is it called again? I've completely forgotten
Oh,
it.
fuck. I know what you're talking about. The one where you fight King Deity. It's like the icy.
Yeah.
Uh,
God.
I'm too lazy. My Switch is right there, but I'm too lazy to pick it up and turn it on and then go to Kirby in the Forgotten Land and do all that. But I know the area you're talking about. I'll put a little picture of it on screen right now so any of
Yeah.
the mindless
It's like.
viewers know what we're talking about
Yeah.
too.
It's not one area remains. God damn it.
Yeah, that was the third area.
Yes. It's the fourth.
Yeah, it's the fourth area. It's fine. I'll
Yeah.
just show a picture on screen for all the brainless viewers. I know what you're talking about.
Winterhorns.
Winterhorns.
I believe that is what it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Winterhorns.
I know it started with a W because all the areas in Kirby: The Forgotten Land spell out New
Yeah.
World.
New World.
Yeah,
Yeah.
New World.
Yeah. I fucking love Winterhorns because it is essentially a snowy, blizzard covered London.
Wait,
And
hang
you
on.
can feel
Yeah, you can feel like
you can feel that people used to live there, even
Yeah.
more than the other areas.
yeah, you
There
can feel there was there was an abandoned train station at one point. There's even an abandoned castle. It literally is just like destroyed London.
yeah, it like the first world, sure, you can tell, yeah, people used to live here. The second world, it's a bunch of oil refineries and beaches. That really doesn't sell the aesthetic. Wonderia is a theme park Sure, imagine just having Disneyland just be empty,
Man, I love Disney
barren, and
World.
abandoned.
Oh, so like literally every time that I go to Arkansas Disneyland, we have that here. It's not good.
Yeah, but Winter Horns, you can actually draw a parallel to real life because this place is modeled exactly after London,
Yeah, like it.
and you just feel how empty it is. There is nobody here other than the cute little animals that you are just
Yes.
essentially killing.
I mean, yeah, but
It is
they had it coming.
empty.
They had it coming. They,
Yeah,
they
they
captured
had
the
it.
Waddle Dees. If I had to choose between killing a puppy and killing a Waddle Dee, I'm sorry, but the puppy's going.
Oh my god. Okay. Uh, but yeah, you can feel just how empty, how just fucking forgotten this place is. It's abandoned. There is nobody left here, and
Yeah,
it is lost to the ice and snow.
yeah, and that's like that
And
aesthetic.
it would be the
It's
perfect aesthetic for a Oranos that is styled after a massive city that is
oh shit.
abandoned, run
No,
down.
no.
Little little things like something as crazy as like an empty fireplace that Sonic could silute and bring back a small bit of life, but just show you how abandoned this place is. That really could have it could have fit just how barren and
Yeah,
empty this city is. You would actually feel the similar to Knuckles, just looking at these ruined guns and walls and buildings, you would start to feel the same sense of
yeah,
these people are gone and they will never come back.
yeah. And honestly, I
This
didn't.
is a city that was once filled with hundreds, maybe thousands of ancients, and now they aren't there anymore.
Yeah, and I hate to
All that
say
is
it, but
left is the Coco,
that
who
barren
are sent.
feeling, I never felt that. I never felt that in Frontiers.
Yeah, you can. It's because the buildings are so sparse and they're very rarely there.
We should have an architect on Sonic Team, just kind of like, decide what a city should look like, and then they could, you know, go off of that to make the ruins of it.
It's like I feel like even the aesthetic of what they have with just the normal buildings that they have on the other islands, I don't feel like that would have fit for Oranos. I feel like it should have been closer to, uh, like, imagine this is more like the the structures and buildings from Sky Sanctuary.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh my God, that would have been amazing, and that would have made sense too, since Angel Island was probably one of the Starfall Islands, so they would have had access to that.
Yeah, and obviously, like most people should probably know, they made. They are most likely the ones who made Sky
Oh yeah,
Sanctuary.
absolutely. Like the Master Emerald didn't make it. At some point people thought that the Master Emerald made it, but now it's clear they didn't, since once they arrived on Earth, it was just in the fucking ground.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's just if they had it be because it's not like they couldn't have done that. Even they had all of Sky Sanctuary's assets for this game.
Yeah, in Cyrus Age, they could have done that, and they should do that, but they probably won't.
They most likely will not do that.
Yes. That's why we should be in charge, but we're gonna waltz in. I'm gonna.
We're gonna break into Sega and
Yeah,
take control.
Yeah, we're gonna break into Sega Enterprises. I'm gonna look Ian Flynn dead in the eyes and just say, "Look at me. Look at me. I am the captain now."
Perfect. Yeah, a snowy, essentially blizzard-esque buried Sky Sanctuary
Yeah.
would have been amazing for Chronos, with small bits and pieces of just normal ass ancient architecture, but
Yeah.
less blocky and a lot more sleek and refined.
Do you want to know what would have been
To
really cool?
show the distinction between just to show how far they came from these other islands. They
Yeah.
made their buildings so much nicer on this one island because this was their home.
Yes. It could be. There could be something. There could be something where it says this was not only their home on Earth, but this is exactly what their home. This was modeled after what their home on their home planet looks like. Like the others were
Yeah,
just them getting used to it, and they were imitations of it. But
yeah.
this is exactly.
Imagine this. You know that opening, that one where that one cutscene after we basically get through the most of the tutorial, and then we get to see a scrolling cinematic view of Kronos.
Oh yeah, yeah,
They should have did that when we first got to Oranos, but while that's happening, it glitches
and shows their
into
home planet as well.
yeah,
That would
basically
yes.
shows cities the same style, but it looks a lot more high tech and futuresque than what we have on here. But you can still draw the parallels, like the these floating diamonds. They're actually like uh, essentially medical bays or defense systems.
Again, you make something, do with it. Don't just put it there for no reason. Make something,
Yeah, it's
do
like
something with it.
those floating diamonds and stuff. They they serve no purpose.
You
Other
serve
than-
no purpose. Your life is nothing. You should kill yourself. No.
Basically, that is what I get from these floating structures. It's like they only exist to make us draw the parallel to the ancients were the ones who built Sky Sanctuary. And
Yeah.
that is it. Other than the fact that they have the Chaos Emeralds on them and this one diamond, you shoot it and it opens the way to the next area. That's it. They serve
Yeah.
no purpose.
They should kill themselves. No, I'm sorry. And honestly, that I feel like they should have had. What was it? You know the that one level in Sonic Unleashed that everyone hates, where like you have to climb a massive skyscraper, like as the werehog.
I don't. No, we don't have we don't have skyscraper. We don't have Empire City in Unleashed.
Oh,
That
you
was
don't?
completely cut
Oh,
yeah.
wow! I didn't know that.
because Empire City barely serves a purpose in.
You serve
no
purpose.
God damn it! It doesn't have a reason to be there in that game. It's just like there's no there's no Gaia Temple, there's no Gaia Gate.
Yeah,
It's just there to have levels,
that's
to
fair.
pad out
Yeah.
the runtime. Unleashed is straight to the point,
Okay,
and has the much better version of the Dark Gaia fight.
that's fair. Yeah. So, yeah, Skyscraper Scamper. Imagine that though, but like that's the build up to getting the Silver Emerald on Oranos Island. Instead of just having a fucking hacking mini game, you have to like
Yeah,
climb up this massive tower, and if you fall, instead of just dying, you go down like all the way back to the beginning of the tower. Like that's your final challenge is having to climb
yeah,
up that tower.
and it's like twice the size of the ones on Rhea, and it's also
Yeah.
like 3 times as thick.
Yeah, and instead of being like, the black towers that they normally have on Ray Island,
Yeah,
it's like this
it,
majestic shrine. Like it shows maybe it's in the symbol or maybe it's like in the shape of a Coco or something, or maybe in the shape of
nah, I'm thinking like some of those towers we see that we never actually go into because they're just set pieces in Sky Sanctuary, but much more
oh yeah, those yeah.
distinguish, much more. Essentially, actually, no, not like that. Maybe more like because this is a shared idea. This is another shared idea between Notmoss and I. We both believe that the ancients not only are responsible for the Starfall Islands and Sky Sanctuary and probably the Master Emerald Shrine, we also believe that the ancients were the ones who created the Gaia temples.
Hmm. It's possible.
So
Yeah. I don't want to get into a ton of like Dark Gaia stuff and other things like that today, but
I kind of believe that they did have some level of knowledge that Dark Gaia exists
yeah, and
because
they probably
just
know.
of how many parallels between the End and Dark Gaia that
Yeah.
there are.
Yeah, they probably knew about it, but just didn't care or just didn't spend too much time thinking about it.
I I doubt that because they were willing to fight the End. They were willing to defend this planet.
Well, no, what I mean by that is like they weren't too worried about Dark Gaia. Like they weren't too worried about Dark Gaia because I had a feeling they might, at least at that point, they must have known it's gonna be a while before it gets released. So I think they had bigger problems at the moment.
I'm 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 not sure. I do believe they had some because of the fact that the Gaia temples utilize the Chaos Emeralds. Like,
Yeah, okay, that is fair. Yeah,
why would they utilize the emeralds?
unless they
I
came for. We'll save this for another time because I do have thoughts on
Yeah,
that, but I don't want to unpack them right now.
yeah. So essentially, a building like a Gaia temple for
Yeah,
this massive tower,
yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah.
and you could just see the whole island from the top.
Maybe even more than just Oranos Island. Like
Like you could see all the Starfall Islands.
you could see Ares Island kinda in the back, and if you looked up, you could see Chaos Island just kinda up there.
Why would it be up?
Isn't wasn't the whole thing of Chaos Island like it was in the clouds?
No,
Really? I
that was no, that was Chaos. That was Chaos Island.
that's what I said.
Chronos.
That's what I said.
Wait. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Chaos was more up.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you could
you could
see
look
Kronos and
up.
Ray Island. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be great. And uh, to just to keep with the aesthetic, uh, yeah, they would keep that whole wood area, that forest area with Supreme, but
Yeah.
rather than it just be uh, I believe you said something similar to this in your video. Like, Supreme is basically just generating a
Hurricane, yeah, like a
massive
massive.
blizzard
Yeah, that's what
overhead
I said
to
in
fit
my.
to. Yeah, you said hurricane, but to fit with the aesthetic of this
Oh
new
yeah, yeah,
Oranos, it would now be a blizzard.
yeah. But it wouldn't just be for the fight, because I feel like. Here's how I would do it: is I would have it so. Unlike all the other Titans, Supreme can actually interact with you before its fight and after its like chase scene, where like it's just there. Like if you get too close to Supreme, it shoots you. You're done. You're done. It just shoots you and you die. And like
Yeah, it presents a massive hazard.
yeah, like you have to actively do everything you can to avoid Supreme. And eventually like it would start out as Supreme just standing there, but as you got further and further, Supreme would start walking around and you just have to do everything you can to make sure you're as far away from Supreme as you possibly can be at any given moment, or you will die no matter what.
Yeah, it's like it's a timed event. Similar to the closest thing I can think to of that kind of situation right now is Bendy and the Dark Revival. If
Yeah,
you
oh
just
yeah, like
stick around for a certain amount of time, Bendy just shows up
yeah.
and he's going to kill you, and you
Uh,
have to hide from him
I'm not
because
gonna
there's nothing you can do to harm him.
I'm not gonna lie, I hated Dark Revival. I'm just gonna be frank, I hated Dark Revival so much.
Oh,
Okay,
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 that could.
I didn't hate Dark Revival. That's a bad form of words. There were a lot of things about it that I disliked.
All right.
The combat specifically, I hated the combat so much.
Uh,
I
uh,
despise the combat in that game.
Bendy has never been known for its combat.
Yeah, that's fair, but I feel like that one was trying to be a lot more combat. But we'll unpack that. We'll unpack that all later.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it can be its own episode.
Yeah, I guess this
But
podcast doesn't have to be only Sonic.
yeah, so essentially something like that with Super.
Yeah,
If you were just spending certain time, similar to the Starfall event, it would just show up and be like, "You best be ready, boy."
well, I was thinking even.
And it starts trying to shoot you, and
I
you
was
have to hide.
Yeah, and we could do that, but I was thinking on top of that, like when it's not doing that, it's just there. It's just out there. It's
yeah,
like it
and
just
if you
walks around, and if you get too close, you're done.
yeah
But there could also be moments, yeah, where it just like imagine this. Like imagine how horrifying it would be if just at random moments it just jumps into the air and then just lands behind you, and it's like you better go.
yeah, uh, and you're like, and you have like maybe like a minute to hide.
Yeah.
Probably more like 30 seconds. You have 30 seconds to get away from Supreme.
Yeah. Or you die.
Otherwise, it snatches you up and eats you.
That or like just laser blast. Then again, I would not put it past the end of War Sonic.
Yeah, that's a, I guess.
Have fun with that image in your head for the rest of your life.
Thank you. That I did not need that.
Other than that, though, so we've talked a lot about Oranos Island. Is there anything you would change on Chaos, Ares, or Kronos Island?
On Chaos, not really. Maybe like
A little less 2D sections?
uh, yeah. Just fuck, fuck Chaos Island and its 2D sections.
Okay, honestly, though,
It-
I would
it-
say other than the 2D sections, Chaos Island is like the perfect island.
It is a very, very good island, as
Like, it
long
has-
as you avoid the 2D sections.
Yes, like it
That's
has the
the-
really immersive snowy mountains, the little hexagonal areas, the oases, the volcano
Yeah,
in the center.
But the fucking 2D sections,
Yes. The 2D sections do suck.
Chaos Island makes me want to purchase a firearm.
God damn.
Yeah, those are that quote is immensely stolen, but it very, very accurately describes my feelings
That's fair.
towards Chaos Island and its 2D sections.
Yeah, that is fair. I think that Chaos Island did the most with we have a thing, now use it. Like, I feel like there wasn't a lot of stuff in Chaos Island that went unused. The only thing I can think of that might have gone unused was the snowy mountains. But even then,
you rarely go towards those.
yeah, but even then, like, there was still some stuff used with those.
Yeah,
There were, like, pretty much everything on Chaos Island was used.
yeah. For not Chaos, Kronos Island, I feel like certain bits of it should have had an aesthetic change.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like, certain bits should have been, like, fall themed
That
rather than
exactly.
the,
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking the same thing.
like, like how we have the idea that Rhea would be drenched in water and Aranos would be
Like
a
kind of wintry.
desolate blizzard city. Kronos would have bits and pieces that look like it's perpetually in fall.
Yeah. And we do
'Cause,
have that one for 1-7. Like there's exactly one point of the area that has a fall theme, and that is
yeah,
1-7, or like the area around 1-7. That is the
yeah,
only part of Cronus Island that is fall themed.
and it would be great to have more of those little sections just sprinkled here and there around the island.
Now for Ares Island.
Ares Island.
Springs. Add more springs. Make it easier to get up the goddamn cliffs, please.
Yes. I just.
Even now,
And
even
also,
now, it's still
more distinct landmarks. For the love of God, it is so easy to get lost.
Yes. Oh my god. Yeah, I've gotten lost so many times on Ares Island.
It's like all the other islands. It is not that. It is not that easy to get lost. You can always know where you are just by looking around. Ares is horrendous.
Yeah.
It has a good aesthetic, I guess. I'm not that fond of deserts in video games.
I mean,
it's like going back to Kirby and the Forgotten Land again.
Yeah.
After Winterhorns, I just felt like the areas in that game just went downhill.
Well,
because
I don't know. Like,
I did not like Original Wasteland at all.
I'll say this though, the first level of Original Wasteland was like actually pretty fun because like you arrive in this sandstorm and like you can see this beast ship. Like I like it just for that.
Yeah,
but I can see why people wouldn't like. And I feel like outside of the first level, it just kind of loses its flair immediately.
Yeah, I don't like it as a whole because I have never been that fond of desert areas.
Here's the thing: I feel like desert areas done right can be very, very good, but they're very easy to fuck up.
The only desert area I believe I liked in a game was, I think it was Shamar from Unleashed. I actually liked that because it's not this overdone desert area that's just everything is sand. Suffer. it feels more toned back.
Yeah.
It's not overly sandy, but it still gives you the feeling that, yeah, this is a desert.
Yeah. Mazuri was kind
But
of the same way.
Ares Island, it's just what? Why is there so much desert?
Yeah. It's
I
okay. Do you want
I
to know what
can
pisses me
say
off
I
the most?
like the little oasis area, but
Yeah.
other than that, the rest of the island is sand, rock.
The caves, though. The
Uh,
caves. The caves are fun.
the caves are fun,
There's
yes,
only
but
one though.
those
There's only one though.
you only and the only reason you would go there is like to either get the goddamn map or just go and fish.
Yeah.
And if you're like me and in your third playthrough you swear against Big like he is the fucking plague.
You're gonna regret that on Oranos Island. Do you know the fucking memory token requirements for Oranos
Oh
Island?
yeah, yeah, they're fucking ridiculous.
It's so stupid. Why, like, who's gonna go out of their way to? Okay, that is one of the other things that I hate about Frontiers, and I love Frontiers. This video is gonna sound like I hate it, but I love Frontiers. It is such a good game. But oh my god, the memory tokens. They just have them scattered about. There's no formula to get them other than fishing. You just have to wander around and find them. Do something. Make like an actual entertaining thing from them. Do
Yeah,
something with them. If you
really-
put something in the game, do something with it. For the love of God.
Really, they should have had these areas be built more into the environment than just sticking out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, if they're in the distance, you get that feeling of, how do I get there? But it's also drastically hindered by the pop-in.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, it's less of a thing that should have that we can go on because it's been
Yeah,
talked
it's been
about
mentioned so
a
many
lot
times.
more
It's fine. There's one other
than
thing.
even just momentum, which we started this whole thing with.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be explored so heavily because everybody
Yeah,
else
everyone
has
knows about it.
commented
Yeah.
on it.
There's one other thing that I want to mention before Ares Island, before kind of going into the last point and then wrapping things up. And that is, we never get to see the top of the mountain on Ares Island, other than like, you know, if you moon jump up there
Yeah, it's, the only other time you see it is
during the
during
Wyvern fight.
yeah, and when you throw Wyvern at it.
Yeah,
I still love that
yeah, it's such a
one
cool.
bit in particular. It's just the most spectacle thing. It's like you're actually taking a Titan and you're just tossing it around like a rag doll.
Yeah, Wyvern is probably the lightest out of all the Titans, though.
Probably.
Yeah, but yeah, like what they should have done, I feel like, instead of having you like climb to the top of a tower and then jump on Wyvern from there, because Wyvern like he kind of sinks down, like it's accepting you, it's accepting your challenge. I feel like instead of that, what it should have been is you go up to the top of the mountain and then fight it there, or like try to board it there.
Yeah, that would have been
Yeah, 'cause-
much cooler.
Yeah, and the top of the mountain, like it's not even that far fetched because the top of the mountain is like pretty close to where it's flying too.
Yeah.
Whereas the top of the tower isn't even like remotely close. Wyvern doesn't just come down a little; they have to frickin' nosedive.
Yep. Yeah, Ares.
Yeah,
Ares is the one island that I feel needs the most overhaul.
yeah. Other than
All of
Ornos,
the islands, other than Orons, yeah.
yeah, and Ray
I-
really, because Ray should also have like its own water theme.
I guess you could say Kronos needs a drastic improvement since it's like
Based on
fucking 2D everywhere.
if I were to rank each island based on how much improvement they need, I would say Chaos Island needs the least, then Kronos Island, then Ares Island, then Oranos Island, and then Ray Island.
And swap Oranos and
Okay, yeah,
Rhea.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, I would rather have this stuff for Oranos Island than Ray Island. Like, if I had to choose between giving Ray Island a glow up and giving Oranos Island a glow up, it'd be Oranos.
Yeah, it's like, especially, we didn't really actually talk about Rhea that much.
Yeah,
We just said, put it in water.
Yeah,
and
okay.
That's it.
Yeah, before we wrap up, let's talk about Ray Island a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we should.
So, I feel like it shouldn't just be the towers and then you're done. It's like, after that, you can go back to the island, and there are also these little mini challenges and stuff you can do. Like,
yeah.
There are secret gates. There are secret cyberspace gates.
Oh yeah.
That you can go to and open, but there aren't any guardians on this island, so you have to farm up gears from either Oranos or Kronos.
Wait, but I thought they didn't carry over between islands.
This would be the only situation where that does work.
Oh, okay. So maybe instead of Kronos Island being cut off, you could go on to Kronos Island and then gather up gears from there and then bring them to Ray Island. Okay, yeah.
And they would have much higher gear requirements, like in the beta version of the collective island.
Yeah.
There was that one portal that required 3.
Yeah. Oh, and on Ray Island, you should be able to find the cave that Agnion was in when he.
Yeah, the portal. Because I believe that is where you find it in the beta world.
Is on Ray Island.
It's on the Rhea part of the island.
Yeah. But as for the water theme itself, do you want to know what would be cool? Like, imagine like you had to parkour not only on the towers but to the towers.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, and if you fell into the water, it wasn't instant death, but like you had to get up pretty quickly and find a way to get up before drowning.
You want to know what would be just evil?
What?
Like there's one portal underwater.
Oh no.
I can tell you already know where I'm going with this. This portal leads you
to Labyrinth Zone.
A cyberspace version of Labyrinth Zone.
That is evil. That is evil. You have there is a poison in your brain and in mine because I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. It's like I imagine a cyberspace version of Labyrinth Zone would be just this broken, glitchy, similar to how all the other cyberspace levels are. It's all broken up in the sky, but it also has glitchy ass water physics. Like, there's water just floating in the middle of nowhere, and you have to parkour through those water cubes to get to the next portion of the stage, which is like full of similar aqueducts to the the ones in Forces.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. I think
that was a thought that popped into my head. Yeah. When we talked about this whole entire island just being water, it's like, eh.
All right, we should.
What's the most infamous water level in Sonic history? Oh yeah, Labyrinth Zone.
Labyrinth Zone. Hydrocity Zone isn't much better though.
You mean Hydro City?
I'm going to break your knees.
Yeah. Uh, we should have an entire episode just devoted to
Just
debating
how things are
what
pronounced.
how it's
We've there's
pronounced.
been so many different like instances like fucking Oranos, Oranos,
I mean,
Rhea.
those are much more uh, points of contention because those are actual names that have existed for a real damn long time.
Yeah.
So pronouncing them is much more difficult. But this is a name that exists.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll see.
I don't think we should actually
Yeah.
do an
No.
entire episode. Probably just like a small bit.
Yeah, just a tidbit. Yeah. Now, we should probably wrap things up soon, but before we do, there was one
Yeah.
other point that I wanted to talk about. Pinball.
Oh yeah.
Fuck pinball. Fuck pinball.
Fucking pinball.
I had to redo that shit 3 times because
Same here.
I beat it all 3 times. But do you want to know why I didn't do it? Because I didn't know you were supposed to flick the ball into the top at the end. So I was just like, oh, am I done? And then I died.
Yeah, it's so fucking irritating. It's like it has the most unpinball like physics ever. The point requirement is absurd. And then there's just the RNG deaths. It's like that you can do absolutely nothing to stop.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's so stupid. Fuck Sonic Frontier. 0 out of 10 would not play again. I played it 3 times.
You want to know my experience? My first experience with the goddamn pinball
What was it?
situation. I also had a hard time with it because I am legitimately convinced that it is infinitely harder to Switch than it is on any other console. But when I actually managed to get the goddamn point requirement, I didn't know I had to go to the top.
Oh,
So I was like,
yes.
oh, what do I do? I guess I'll just press B.
Oh, yeah. The same thing happened to me. So the first time I exited it because I thought it was done, I was done. And then that meant I had to redo it. So I was like, oh, I guess I just end the game by dying then.
Yeah, it pissed me off so goddamn much to know I had managed to get all those points. I backed out, and now I have to do that all over again.
Yeah. Imagine having to do it twice. Like, not twice, 3 times.
Yeah, I've done it multiple times, just going back through my playthroughs.
Yeah.
It does not get any fucking easier.
It is, yeah, fuck pinball. I hate pinball. They should have left that in Sonic Spinball where it belongs. I love that game though. Sonic Spinball was fun.
Yeah, I agree with Notmoss wholeheartedly. If point requirement wasn't as high, it wouldn't be so goddamn bad.
Yeah. So for those of you who are still here, I would just like to remind all of you that this is not an episode of a podcast, but it is actually our job application to Sega.
Yeah, Ian Flynn, we're coming for you.
Yeah, we're coming for your ass, Ian Flynn. Now remember, we got more stuff coming very soon, so be sure to hit that the big red button.
The bit. Be sure to hit the bit.
Yeah, be sure to hit the bit. We have a very special thing coming eventually if we actually manage to do it. I don't want to explain exactly what it is yet, but we're doing a thing.
It's a thing in a place. If you don't like it, you should try a new place at a different time.
Exactly.
Alright.
Just know it involves it involves me playing a game and then Malcolm getting really mad at me for not being able to do a thing in a game because I have a certain physical impairment.
You basically explained the entire premise.
Whatever. By the time this video gets released, we'll probably be done with it anyways.
Probably.
If we make it through it.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, be sure. Oh god, what's it called? It's like it's the button. It's shaped like a hand. It does a little thumbs up, and then there's like a big red button.
The like button and
Oh right.
the subscribe button.
Yeah, and then oh god, there was another thing. What was it? They have to like click on
Ding
a thing
ding
and
ding!
then
Top of morning.
and then they have to put letters in a box, and then when they put letters in a box, it tells us what they like about it or what they dislike about it.
The comments.
Right. Thank you. Be sure to comment, and
Subscribe.
see you guys next time if you show up. If not, that's completely valid. But bye bye.